You feel this nervousness on the phone there?
Sir, I've been trying to make an urgent phone call up there.
Well, I don't think it's something I want to do on an overseas phone.
You gotta make some phone calls. Hang up the phone. Prank caller. Prank caller.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome once again to Packernet After Dark. This is the call-in show, the Packernet Podcast Network. If you'd like to check in, call in, whatever, I should know this by now. Phone number here, 608-501-0718. New callers go directly to the front of the line. I'm scrolling, and we don't have any new callers today. So what we'll do, actually, I want to make sure I do this really quickly here. It was, where did I put it? 5,000 tabs. I knew I was going to close it. I absolutely knew that. So it was brought to my attention that Scott Wakeling, who was a listener to the show, I don't have any details, but apparently has passed away. And at a pretty young age, too, if I do say so myself. Looks like he was 2 years younger than I was after doing a little sleuthing. So I just wanted to acknowledge him. This has been a fun thing over all these years, getting to know a lot of people. Some of them obviously call into Packernet After Dark, so we get to know all of them. Some of them have reached out and I've been in conversation with for years, so they're like, very become close friends of mine. Other people, man, they're regular listeners and they don't reach out and they don't call, and that's perfectly fine. That's how I am with podcasts. But it doesn't mean they haven't been there just as loyally every step of the way. A lot of people have come together to listen to these shows to make it what it is, and unbelievably grateful for that. So I appreciate, first of all, I'm going to mess up your name, Idan. I know we've done this before with the name. I think you've corrected me and told me, but that was a long time ago and I forgot. But appreciate you bringing that to my attention, and just wanted to offer condolences to Scott's family and to any friends of his that are going through a pretty tough time. But all right, why don't we get started? We got a lot of calls here. We'll get started with Nico in Idaho.
Well, it is officially over. This is Nico here in Firestop. Oh my gosh, in Idaho. I tell you what, man. I know that Geno Smith got injured, and Sam Howell is absolute trash. But he did give us 4 sacks and an interception, so I like him for that. He's my new favorite guy. Although, when they show the picture of Sam Howell when he was coming in the game, did you see his hairdo? Right? I mean, what's up with the hairdo? As soon as I saw that hairdo, I said, oh, he's going to suck. Okay, so anyways. Dude, I'm what can you say, man? I hope Watson's not hurt. They haven't said nothing yet. The game literally just ended, so maybe they'll give us an update. But I tell you what, excuse me.
Nice. Well done.
What a great game. Defensively, really good. What do we have? How many sacks do we have today? 7 sacks. I wish Gary would have had more, but man. I think Barry 2, Cooper 1, Gary 1, Cox 1, Wyatt 1, Brooks 1. I tell you what. Valentine had an INT. Cooper had 1, almost had 2. I'm telling you, Cooper, if that guy if he can get healthy and not be injured, he is going to be the next amazing, he will be the best linebacker in the league. He's a freak. Whew, man, I tell you, who are we playing next week?
Well, and we've gone over this before. They're not, linebacker's one of those weird positions where there's just not a ton of mega elite superstars. I feel like there used to be several years ago. Nowadays, there's, I don't know, like 3. Let me look real quick. I mean, it's beyond even the PFF grades. Just who do we even recognize as guys that just do it year after year? I mean, really, it's what? It's Fred Warner and Bobby Wagner, basically. And Fred Warner obviously dealing with some stuff right now. We'll see if he bounces back next year. He's 28 years old. Should have some more left in him. Bobby Wagner is 34. He's still going strong. He's actually with Washington right now. If you didn't know, he's still playing at a pretty high level, but that's probably coming to an end. I think the two Wisconsin Badgers guys don't get any love, but probably should. Zach Bond is kind of a new thing. He's having his first really good year with Philadelphia. And but Leo Chenal, it's been 3 years in a row of being a good linebacker, so he might be like the next one, and he's only 24 somehow. So he is a fantastic linebacker. So it's kind of like Fred Warner, Bobby Wagner are the two guys. Bobby's going to be on the way out. We'll see if Zach Bond can continue this, because it's kind of, like I said, it's his first year being really good. But, I mean, if you look at it right now, Edgerrin Cooper's already 9th. He's already the 9th highest. You got Jordan Hicks, Landon Roberts, Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah. I want to check him out. Has he been doing this? He's pretty consistent. He's a pretty good linebacker, too. He only played about a half a year this year. And 2 out of his 3 years were quite good. So he might be another kind of one. But again, like it's not Bobby Wagner, Fred Warner level, right? It's good, not great. We're not talking high 80s and 90s here. So we'll have to see how it plays out. There might be a new crop coming in, but I think Edgerrin Cooper has the makings of being sort of a Bobby Wagner type, of being that kind of a dude. Actually, Fred Warner might even make more sense. They're like identical. They're both 6'3", 230 on the dot, with I think Edgerrin Cooper just having better measurables, especially at his age. But yeah, he is a Fred Warner type of dude. And Fred Warner, since 2020, when he kind of like really figured it out, his grades have been 89, 80, 86, 90, and 90. So, and again, he's only 28, so he's probably got several years left in him. But, yeah, I mean, I don't see why he couldn't be a Fred Warner. And the cool thing is, you know, everybody talks about the low value of linebackers. It certainly is not a great position to pick, if for no other reason than, I mean, unless you get a Fred Warner, But when you do, think about how much it sucks to play against Fred Warner and Bobby Wagner. You remember Luke Kuechly? Remember how miserable it was going up against a guy like Luke Kuechly? Another guy pretty similarly built to Edgerrin Cooper, 6'3", 238. He had 4.58 speed. Started off with a 73 grade. His next year was up to a 77, and then he was off to the races. 90, 94, 91, 91, 91, and then his last year was 85. Edgerrin Cooper, as of right now, has a 77 grade, which is exactly what Luke Kuechly's second year was as a linebacker.
Let's see here. We got a couple minutes. Bang, boom, bam, boop, 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 beep, bop, bop, boop. Oh yeah.
You don't.
The Bears.
Just so you know, you don't have to go to 3 minutes. If you just had to say the one thing, can just leave it at that.
The Bears.
Yes.
I think you played them on Monday night. Let's see here. Oh no, the Saints on Monday night. Hey. Well, that should be an easy win. Then the Vikings, right? Then we get to beat the Vikings. And then we get to beat the Bears. So we'll have a good season. And you know what? It's like we're getting hot at the right time, right? That's the way to be. I think the Lions are kind of descending right now.
They are.
You know, I know they play next week, but they just got their ass kicked. Whoops, excuse me. They got their tushes kicked today. Buffalo looks pretty damn good. Mm-hmm. I think they're going to win the Super Bowl. I'd be surprised if the Chiefs can beat them because Buffalo looks too damn good. And we'll see. So go Pack go. We'll talk to y'all later. Peace out.
I think the only problem with, first of all, yes, the Packers are ascending. Talked about it this morning. Going to talk about it much more in detail tomorrow, and it's very good. It's very, very good news. But yes, the Packers are ascending. The Lions, I think, are descending, if for no other reason, because of the injuries. I mean, I think they're doing as admirable of a job as you possibly can, but like every single one of their key starting pieces, with the exception of their safeties, is out. They're gone. They're done. Their elite pass rusher, gone. Their only good interior guy, and maybe there were more that are also gone, but last one, gone. Their one good corner, gone. Their linebackers are all gone. I mean, it's just, the offense is still going. I just don't think you can maintain at that level. And that's, assuming that you don't have more injuries coming. But, yeah, Packers are getting healthier and they're getting better. As far as the Bills-Chiefs, I mean, I always feel like the Bills are a really, really, really good team. And I also generally feel like they're better than the Chiefs. And then they end up losing and the Chiefs end up winning, and that's just how that goes. So, I don't know, man.
Chris from Alabama was good. 30-13 victory. We did that. Got a little stagnant in the second half. I ain't gonna lie. Cooper's drives, man, it was kind of stagnant, looking kind of crazy. But when we needed it, it came through in the clutch, man. Hey, great win today. Great win right now, man. We clicking on all cylinders, man. We clicking on all cylinders. We are.
I mean, literally all of them, which, again, just talked about this morning and we'll talk about more tomorrow. Every single cylinder. And you may be shocked to find out how rare it is to be top 10 in all categories, which we will talk about tomorrow. DVOA, which is what we were using, goes back to 1979. Here's the thing. How many teams do you think, this is your trivia, assuming you listen to this, before you listen to the one tomorrow. How many other Packers teams since 1979 have been top 10 in every category, and which ones? What years, if any, which you probably guessed that there were, because otherwise, why would I guess to throw you off, but at this point, there's at least one. Which years were top 10 in every category? Sorry, continue.
We praying for a run, man. Steady. We praying for a run. We got 3 remaining. Saints, Vikings, Bears. I don't see us losing no more games. And my prediction was 13-4. Actually, it was 12-5, I think. I don't remember. You'll have to bring. I can't remember right now. I might remember in a minute, but I can't remember right now. But I think it's 13-4, man. I don't think we lose no more, and I think we going to the playoffs playing real, real good football, man. Great victory today, man. All in all, I ain't got no complaints. Like I said, we had a couple of moments in the second half that kind of got stagnant. Defense gave up a touchdown in the second half, but 13 points? Ain't this like the 4th or 5th week we ain't allowed over 20 points or something like that? And this is our 4th straight week scoring 30 points plus. Hey, it's all about timing, man. And I think we playing great football at the right time, man. A big victory today, man. I ain't even gonna hold you long. I'm just excited. On to the Saints. That's a personal game for me. I stay in Mobile, Alabama, but I'm originally from Hattiesburg, Mississippi. I know y'all know that town. Brett Favre, USM.
Nice.
That's my hometown. So all my people are Saints fans. So that's kind of like a little personal battle. I'm gonna be on enemy lines, and we gonna win it. But it's just personal for me because it's facing me versus my whole family.
Yeah.
So I get ready for that one. But good win today. You know what I mean? Go Pack Go. We rolling, rocking, and doing all that, baby. Hey, 10-4. It's looking real good, man. But I ain't gonna hold y'all no longer, man. Go Pack Go, man. Great win today, man. Offense and the defense. We doing our thing. Hey, ain't nothing else to be said. I'll talk to y'all later, man. Go Pack Go.
It's funny as I'm sitting here. I'm listening to you and I'm thinking through some stuff. I love hearing how excited you are and everything, and I'm getting excited thinking about everything that's happened. Thinking about, like I said, I think what I had said about the Seattle game is bigger than I realized. What I had said was, okay, the data and all the little data points that we talked about that I'm seeing are telling me that we're this really good team. And so if you are, then you should do something kind of vicious to this Seattle team. And they did. On the road, in Seattle, supposedly hostile territory, but that's not a thing anymore, thanks to Packer fans. And beat them mercilessly to the point that the Seahawks fans are questioning their own existence at this point. Just viciously beat them. But I think it goes bigger than that, because as I dig even deeper, it becomes evident that this is one of the best Packer teams that we've had. It's up there with all the other ones. You can look at it's essentially Super Bowl winning Packers teams and should have won the Super Bowl Packers teams. Right? So there was 2009, 2020, something weird like in 2003 or something. I don't know, 1997 for sure. It's the won the Super Bowl and should have won the Super Bowl teams that are in a pile, and the Packers are in that pile right now. 2024 Packers. And look, I'm critical of the negative fans because I'm pulling out all the data and I'm like, look, you dummies, look. But at the same time, I get it because something feels weird. Something doesn't feel quite right, and it's probably because we played a pretty high-quality opponent, and because we also saw, like, hurt Jordan, so that kind of freaks us out. And then there's, like, these little things that keep happening. Jordan threw all those picks, like, a long time ago, and it's still freaking me out. And remember when there was drops, like, not recently, but a long time ago, and it freaks me out. And, like, there was the stagnant part last week where we didn't get started, and then, like, this time in the middle of the game, like, it got... So all this stuff is, like, freaking me out. But again, if you are that team, what would you do to Seattle? Exactly that. If you were that team, what would you do to Miami? Exactly that. What would you do to San Francisco? Exactly that. And you say, what about Detroit? I'm very sorry to have to give you this news. Detroit is one of the most historically good teams we've seen. Like, it just shockingly good. And so the fact that we were blow for blow with them, and I'm going to say that thing, probably should have won if not for the refs. I know that's a stupid fan thing to say, but it's also 100,000% correct. Would have won the game without the refs. I would say that says actually a lot about the high quality nature of the team. But what it also is okay, so I'm trying to believe the data, but I need the team to continue to show me. And so this Saints game is going to be more of the same. Are you going to kind of let them stay in the game and it's kind of scary and it shouldn't be and it's like, oh, crap? Or is this just going to be like any other dominant team against a really bad, beat-up, no-hope team where you just beat the living crap out of them? 13.5-point favorites is crazy. Are you going to exceed that? And then it comes to the Vikings. Look, even if the Packers are better, they can still obviously lose to the Vikings, but that's going to be another one where it's like, okay, so, is it true? Are you better than them? Or like, how's this going to go? But it's a learning process. Why don't we take a break? We'll come back and hear from Craig.
Hey, Ryan, it's Craig from Indiana.
Hey.
Following the Packer-Seahawks game. What a great game. That was awesome. That was fun to watch. How about that Cooper guy? Oh, my gosh. He was awesome. And I'm glad he got a little recognition at the post-game interviews. But he looked fantastic. Loved the run game in the first half. And loved the play calling overall. Really like the decisions that Jordan is making.
Yep.
I think he's really coming, not into his own, but playing well, playing good football, and great win. So excited about the next few weeks. Excited that we're continuing to go on the upswing. Oh, the other comment I was going to make is really proud of the secondary, given that Jair was out, and they do have some weapons for sure. I know we had a backup quarterback, which probably helped a lot, but I was very concerned going into the game with Jair being out, but those guys, for the most part, did a nice job. And get Jair back, and hopefully Quay is okay, and we continue to get healthy, get Bullard back, and I don't think there were any other significant injuries today. But good win, good road win, and against again a potential playoff team. I think that bodes well as we have to go on the road in the playoffs. Go Pack, go.
Yeah, everything's coming together. Everything is starting to come into focus. I mean, you can see the picture, you can see the path. As far as everything's Jordan's got his whole Toyota-thon thing going on, which is the most ridiculous thing in the world, but it's hard to deny at this point that good old Toyota has got something to do with it. By the way, I was just on the phone talking to my half-Mexican attorney, and I don't know what Toyota's doing. Come on, guys. Come on. Look, I was able to get to work with an incredible, maybe I need to do it. Maybe I need to reach out to Toyota, because during the Brazil game, reached out to a Brazilian Steakhouse, thanks to people on social media, by the way. They actually facilitated it. And got sponsored by a Brazilian Steakhouse, thanks to the game in Brazil. Toyota, what are you doing, boys? Let's do this. Let's do this thing right now. Toyota-thon. Let's go. I'm just saying. But Jordan's playing better. Run game's cooking. Should be another big game for the run. I was just poking around. I was actually just looking because I wanted to help Blaine with his fantasy football team, making a decision on which quarterback to play, whatever. And just glanced over and saw that the New Orleans Saints, I believe, have the 30th ranked run defense. So shouldn't be super hard to figure out the plan. I mean, they're a bad team overall. Don't get me wrong, but I think their pass defense is like 12th, so it's really not that bad. But their run defense is brutal. But yeah, we got the run going, we got the pass going, we got the run defense, we got the pass defense, we got the special teams, we got people getting healthy. Hopefully we get Jair back, although we'll see. We got Cooper playing, man. It's all coming together. Feels good.
Hey, Ryan. Okay. Walking out. I don't know if you can hear this. But still a good game. We're sitting and watching this. The running game was awesome. The defense did great against the run. And there was a whole lot to complain about. Fans and stands were awesome. Cheering all day long. Go back, go chance for the very beginning. When I get out here, I don't know if you can hear anything besides just going to get louder as I get farther down the ground. Thanks, go back. Take it easy, buddy. Bye.
Yeah, again, another shout out to the fans. Did a great job showing up, buying up all their tickets, which, we got issues with that too. It's glad to hear we're not the only fan base. So other fan bases giving away all their tickets. Packer fans doing the right thing, going out, buying up all their tickets and turning that into home field advantage, which is absolutely awesome. Hopefully we can do that again. I don't know what other opportunities we'll have, because obviously playoff games are going to be all sold out, but whatever, figure it out. I'm quite positive we won't be doing that in Minnesota. I think that's in Minnesota, but well done. Well done, children.
Ryan, what's up, man? Kyle from Madison.
What's up?
That is a W, my brother. That is, I think, my most stress-free game of the year.
Yes.
There was so never even a split second where I was afraid that Sam Howell.
Right. Well, and look, I kind of made that point too. Like it was some level of frustration that the Packers were not able to continue to impose what they were doing, but like you said, it never really got scary because first of all, we always had a massive lead, and then by the time we were kind of struggling, Sam Howell was the quarterback, and that dude was terrible. So, yeah, it just, whatever level of stress arose, like if we can't handle that level of stress, we got to stop watching football, because there was, like I said, I'll have to go back and look at it, but the win percentage, basically like 80 to 90% the entire game. So it was not close. It was not stressful. It was just a beating from start to finish.
The Seahawks were going to do anything. It's like they kept getting bailed out on, again, some just crap penalties. But outside of us playing with our food a little bit and fumbling the ball, that was, dude, this is now what, 3 out of the last 4 games where we've put up at least 20 in the first half. I mean, that's 3 out of 4 now. It's just totally dominant performances in the first half.
That's crazy.
Just completely doing whatever they want. And it almost amplifies the second half to the point where it's just been really impressive. They've used those starts to affect the options available to their opponent.
Yeah, right.
In terms of play calling in the second half. So
which is going to help you to, we talk about the defense is top 10 or whatever. It's a lot easier to have a top 10 defense when you're putting them up against a wall. And that's where the whole complementary football comes in. If the defense plays well, it makes it easier on your offense and vice versa.
It was freaking nice. You couldn't ask for a better day out of Cooper. I mean, that was like some kind of fan fiction.
I just saw he was the NFC Defensive Player of the Week. It was the second time he did it this year. And the first time he did it, they were saying like it was the first time the Packers had done it in like a decade and a half or something ridiculous. I don't even remember, but it was just like, it's a thing that doesn't ever happen. Edgerrin Cooper, I'm not talking rookies. I'm just talking anybody. This was not NFC Rookie Defensive Player of the Year. This was NFC Defensive Player of the Week. I mean year, I meant week. And no Packers linebackers do that. We got a rookie that's done it twice in the same year. Absolutely ridiculous.
And to see Dobbs, I mean, hell, he could have maybe even had 3 if I'm thinking correctly. I think there was one that they kind of missed each other. Otherwise, he could have had 3 touchdowns today. And I wonder how long until everybody's wearing those freaking extra hats. You know what I mean? You know it's coming, right? I don't know how long that's going to take, but eventually everybody's wearing those damn things. That's my theory. But great game, and then
we'll see. I mean, the first time one of those guys wearing those hats gets laid out and gets a concussion, it might kind of put a damper on that. But I'm guessing they're going to, as more people do it, you're going to start to get more information about it, and then we'll kind of find out the efficacy of it. But yeah, you're probably right.
As far as Super Bowl recipe, man, I think we're seeing it on display. I mean, right now with where Josh Jacobs is and how old he is and where he is with experience and his body, like that is a horse you can ride to a championship. Mm-hmm. And he's showing it, man. This guy has been losing a lot in his life.
Yeah.
He's got to know he's on a team where if he can stay healthy and run the rock and not turn the ball over, obviously, which he hasn't done. He did today. Get it out of your system, But he's got to know he can run them to a championship. And Love, I mean, we know he can cape up if he needs to. We've seen him cape up. Yep. But he's much more devastating sniping out of the play action like he did against the Cowboys, when Jones was running the ball last year, or just when that run game's moving the ball. The things that he's able to do is just amplified, and I think you're seeing what the Packers potentially could be if they can play a defense like that. So, man, it's a great game, though. It's a freaking great game, man. Let's go, Pack.
Well, yeah, and I hate to keep getting stuck on the same thing, but, every year we get into this, and there's always something that's missing. For many years, the Packers really didn't have a run game. We had Starks kind of blow up in the playoffs when we went on our Super Bowl run, and then he was our guy for a long time, and he was okay, I guess. And then we had a little flair with Lacey. Aaron Jones came in and was fantastic, but again, he's limited snap count guy. He had a lot of injuries over the years, missed a decent chunk of time. Now we have the ability to just be a physical run team. Not like we're physical some of the time, like we got a big physical guy that's not a very good running back. And then we got Jones, who's not necessarily physical, but he's talented. And also he, plays 13, 15 snaps a game. No, it's we got one guy. He's built like a freaking brick house, and we can give it to him 25 times if we want. And then the guys that we spell him with, also quite talented and will smash you in the mouth. Not even including the rookie that we got, who is Josh Jacobs light. And I don't mean light in terms of size. I just mean, like the second level of him. He's a clone that I'm assuming isn't quite as good, all right? But yeah, we've got it. And then, like you said, The ability to cape up, as you put it. What happened when the run game stopped? Oh, guess what? We have like a top 5 quarterback right now. So I guess we can lean on that if we need to. Shucks, Oh, man, the offense is kind of stalled out. Defense, what can you do? What do you want us to do? We can do whatever you want. Can you get like 7 sacks? Like, oh, yeah, for sure. How about a pick? How about stopping the run? How about shutting down the pass? Can you do all those things? Yeah, we got you. Go ahead and get your stuff together, figure it out, and we'll hold it down here. Special teams, we might need a couple field goals, some punts. Can we do this? Yeah, we got it. We're good. Nothing guarantees Super Bowls, man, but not having that glaring issue that we have pretty much every time we go into the playoffs. Like, hopefully the 32nd ranked special teams doesn't come back to bite us.
Hey, Ryan.
Hey.
Chad, Kansas City calling again. Great win. Defense played pretty well. There were still some holes in the middle, which I guess I understand with them dropping back in the zone. I really like the utilization of Josh Jacobs early in the game. In the second half, I think we could have done something a little bit more interesting than running him up the middle over and over and over. That didn't seem to translate well. Also, I felt like we were not good tonight at scheming people open. I mean, there were a few things that I thought that we did really well, a couple passes, but I think some of those was somewhat luck. I mean, you make your own luck, of course, but I don't know. I just didn't feel like there were just people open. And I understand open in the NFL, is not much. But yeah, there was that play where Christian Watson and I believe it was Dobbs, might have been a touchdown pass, so I guess I really shouldn't complain about it. But anyway, the safety dropped down, and Christian went to the out route to the corner of the end zone. I think it was Dobbs went to the middle and ran that end zone out. I can absolutely see in the future where like Christian Watson runs that in the inside because he's already behind the safety, and that's going to be a walk-in touchdown too. So there was some stuff I liked, but I just don't know. I just didn't see a lot of people just running open. Like I would like to see. Let's see here. Other than that,
just for the record, I very much have memory dumped most things, with the exception of like the more memorable, the Christian Watson catch on the sideline and the general flow of the game and the touchdowns and whatnot. I don't have any specific recollection one way or another. So I don't know. I could go back and watch it, but I'm kind of in moving on to the Saints mode. So we'll just run with that.
Our defensive line played well, but how good is our offensive line? Yeah, we got a bunch of pressures, but that was against the backup quarterback for most of that game. So all in all, that's a W. W's a hard hit, but good team win. It'll be interesting next week on Monday to see how they do against Saints. All right. Thanks, Ryan. Bye.
Yeah. That's about it. Yeah, I mean, the backup quarterback obviously was not doing a very good job. I think the Packers defense was doing a good job even with the Geno in there. It just got a whole lot worse. I mean, it was just, they were in hunt mode once Howell came in. But you still got to win. You still got to win to be able to get those sacks. There's no guarantees. I don't want to undersell it, because let's not forget when we went up against Bryce Young last year, when we went up against the Italian Stallion for the Giants. Just because a absolute garbage quarterback comes in, that doesn't just automatically, like the refs are just saying, sack, nope, done. Like, we haven't even started the play. Nope, sack, he sucks, so we're going to gift him a sack. You got to go earn it. And I think that's the biggest point, right? And I don't want to get stuck in like, well, that's my expectation, and so you met my expectation, and so I'm not impressed. We need to be impressed with a team that meets expectations, because that's what you need. Because the problem the Packers have always had is that they're not rising to the occasion. They're not being the team that they need to be. That's how they get bounced from the playoffs. We went up against the 49ers and played like garbage. It's not that they were worse, it's that they didn't meet expectations. If they'd have just played like the team that they were the week before or the week before that or the week before that, they would have gone on and played the Detroit Lions and beat the Detroit Lions because we were better than the Lions. But instead, the 49ers didn't even play well, but we played worse than the 49ers, who also just didn't feel like showing up on that day. So, again, the expectation is you're a playoff team. Seahawks, kind of more of a borderline playoff team, but not like a top-tier team. So how do you expect that to go? It is on the road, so that's tough, so maybe tamper your expectations a little bit. And then you look at the outcome and go, that was a beating. That was a beating in every single conceivable way. It was an absolute beating. And again, as far as getting stagnant, look, when you look at it in its totality, if you had spread out the stagnation across the game, there'd probably be less complaining about it. But it becomes more evident when it's like a long period of time of nothing happening. But you understand everything outside of that period was just absolute domination. And so it averages out to being a beating. And I don't want to get stuck on that one little period where stuff wasn't working. Now, we can try to analyze it, but again, I don't know. I really don't. I feel like a lot of the critiques are somewhat inconsistent. I don't mean you, but it's always, why did we get away from the run? It was working. If we had just started passing and it wasn't working, that's exactly what people would say because the run was working. Instead, we didn't get away from the run and it didn't work. And instead of just saying, well, my plan didn't work, it's, well, why did you run it when you should have passed it? Jordan Love is playing really well. Well, the end arounds look good, but not just, I thought we hated that. But he just did it and it worked. But you don't want him to do that. Again, I really think, you did offer some specifics and it would be interesting to kind of dig into that a little bit and see if that was, I would be curious to see like what exactly was going on. What did we do and what was the defense doing at the time? Did they have a loaded box? People are claiming that. I have no idea. I think a lot of it is really just our offensive line was making mistakes and missing blocks, and then the guy gets tackled. It wasn't a bad play call. The frickin' offensive lineman didn't block his guy. If he does that, then we get a bunch of yards, and suddenly, magically, it's not a bad play call anymore because bad play calls, I think a lot of the time, are people just saying that didn't work and so I'm mad. Good calls are the ones that work. And what I'm saying is if we're being honest about it, you determine whether or not it's a good play call before the play even starts. Otherwise, we're just not being serious. And so I don't know specifically. I mean, he has taken some responsibility for some of that. And of course, you have to. At the end of the day, something's not working. If your guys aren't playing right, you got to change it up. You got to do something else. You got to make it work. And that's exactly what happened, by the way. But what we saw is an outcome that you would expect from one of the top playoff teams in football. And that's what we got. And I'm happy about it. So let's take a break. We'll take a break. We'll come back and hear from Snacks.
Daddy!
No, man.
All right, man. Let's get down to brass tacks.
Okay.
First half was as good of a half of football as we've played in I don't know how long. Second half wasn't as good and was aided probably by the fact that Gino was hurt, but at the same time, oh well. The progression and the stacking, not to steal McNuggets' stacking success stuff, it's clearly there. And after seeing this, and then seeing what Detroit did against Buffalo, and I said this last week, I'm not afraid of them in any shape or size, and I'm getting probably a little too homerish with this, but I'm getting close to not being scared of Philadelphia either. Now that's dumb because they are good, but for what it's worth, everything was great. Everything was absolutely fantastic. The second half, like, could we have done this? Could we have done that? Agreed. But we still won by an ass ton. And
if Jacobs hadn't lost that ball, and I'm not worried about him and his ball security in any shape or size, I mean, this wouldn't have been even slightly an issue. I don't know. I like everything that we're doing. I like the progression. I like that LaFleur said after he kind of messed up some stuff, and I agree 100% that the challenge stuff needs to get corrected. Like, we were up, so maybe he was just trying to get away with one, but I mean, there was no way. Watson not being aware of where he was on that third down throw was a little disturbing, but at the same time, dude, I had my old man send me a text, be like, Christian Watson needs to be traded for a bottle of Kesslers. And I was like, well, why? He played exceptionally well, like probably accounted for somewhere in the ballpark of 150 to 200 yards of offense. Anyway, we get Jair back. I know Buller's not the most amazing player on the planet, but he's a body. We put Quay in the 2B role. We let Coop do his thing. The momentum. This is exactly what we wanted, man. Exactly what we wanted.
I'm going to be completely honest. I don't even know what we're talking about with Christian Watson here, but I know that he had a pretty good game. I don't know what he did wrong. I don't even remember. I thought he played extremely well. Definitely don't want to trade him. I don't know why we're trading Christian Watson. I don't know what's going on, man.
Yo, Ryan, what's up? Raider McCready from Missouri.
What's up?
Just want to say that game was pretty awesome. Thoroughly enjoyed it, pretty much from start to finish. Just want to say also, it was fun being dumb about the refs in the Detroit game. Sorry about that. But, well, maybe. I guess if I was truly sorry, I wouldn't be saying this. But, Gary, when they were back up in their end zone, Gary got blocked in the back, like steamrolled right in the back, like face to the turf, kind of blocked in the back. Should have been a safety. Just saying. All right. Done about the refs. Love the game. Love the Packers. Go Pack Go. My kids love the game. They watch it with me. We all shared wearing my first ever cheesehead. Been wanting one for 20 years. Finally got one. And we all shared it. Maybe that's our good luck charm. I'm going to try that from now on.
Well, I think you're obligated to, Raider McCready. I think you and the fam got to rock the cheese hats. You know what I mean? So appreciate your efforts on that. Definitely helped, no question about that. But yeah, whatever you guys are doing, it's working. So let's just keep it going. It's kind of like what the old school bunny ear antenna. We're getting her dialed in. Let's continue to dial it in a little bit. And I think that's why the Packers get better as the season goes on. We don't know what we're supposed to be doing. And then over time, we start to understand each one of us has a little thing, a little superstitious thing that we gotta have going on. And once you get it dialed in, man, that's why the Packers start playing well. It ain't Toyotathon, it's Packer fans. All right, Beer Cheese, what you got?
Good morning! Packernet Podcast! Happy Victory Monday! So this feels really nice. I just want to say that I'm so tired of fans of all these other teams and stuff because you go on social media and the NFL posts about the Packers winning, and then all of a sudden now the Seahawks are trash. They're terrible.
Right.
Like, oh, Seahawks are trash. Oh, well, and it's just like, wow, dude, can you give us credit for once? Like, let's not overlook the fact that Seattle's defense had actually been pretty good the last, 3 or 4 weeks. Like,
it is super annoying, and Packer fans love to do this too. The Seahawks are a really scary team. They're really ascending. It's all this stuff, And then as soon as we beat them, it's like, well, they're bad. It's like, yeah, they're bad because we exposed them as bad because we beat the crap out of them, which the teams that they played before, that the Seahawks beat the crap out of, weren't able to do. That's the entire point. Well, they're bad. Look at what the Packers did to them. Yeah, dummy. Exactly.
They held opponents to like 15 points or something like that, right? Something like that. I don't know. Correct me on that if I'm wrong. And we scored 30 on their ass. So I'm really just tired of the excuses of why we win. Like, it's actually so annoying, dude. It's like no one can ever give us credit. They always have to make an excuse about it. But, yeah, Ryan, overall, you know, I was not happy with the second half offensive performance. Just seemed like we kind of stalled, and I also one thing is that I have a problem with, really. I didn't think the play call was bad, really. I love how we got Jaden Reed involved. That was amazing, dude. It really shakes things up when you can get him involved the way that LaFleur did. You know, it really keeps the defense on their toes and thinking. But one thing that really bothers me still is, why are we taking so long to get to the line on like third and fourth down situations or whatever and to snap the ball? It's mostly third down. We're still having to rush it, man. I just don't get it, bro. We've got to clean those kind of things up.
That'd be a fun little analytic that I don't think anyone is tracking, but it's average time to snap. You know, like how much time is left on the clock on average when you snap the ball.
But this is really the defensive performance that I needed to see to be confident going forward, and they did it, man. I'll be honest, dude. Going into this game, I was like, dude, JSN and DK Metcalf, and they're gonna cook us, dude. And they didn't, bro. Like, so I'm truthfully just shocked and also really proud of our defense, man. Nothing more I can say about it. But anyways, happy Victory Monday. Go Pack, go.
Yeah, I mean, JSN had a pretty good day, but you look at the trio of wide receivers and Geno's playing really well and all this stuff. It feels pretty scary, especially if you don't think too highly of our defense. Right? I mean, if you're skeptical of the team, then what were your expectations of the team? They must have exceeded your expectations if you're not a fan of the team. And if they didn't exceed your expectations, then you have a pretty high opinion of the team. So, I don't know. I think there's a constant shifting goalpost thing with a lot of the negativity. It's, you know, this defense isn't going to be able to contain those guys. And when they do, it's like, oh, they weren't very good. Like, all right, whatever, dude. I don't know what to tell you.
Hey, Ryan. Calling back in, because I wanted to say something that I'm surprised I haven't said yet, and it had bothered me, and I was going to say it in my first one, but you know how these calls are. It takes forever for you to get stuff off your chest or whatever, and you're trying to ramble because it's only 3 minutes. Anyways, I really just did not, this is what really got me, man. There's like a minute left, maybe less than a minute. From what I remember, there was 44 seconds. We're at like midfield before the half. Why are we not calling? I literally was like, all right, here we go. Let's call timeout. Come on, call timeout. And then all of a sudden it kept going. I'm like, call the timeout. No, what are we doing? So, I mean, people complain about LaFleur not going for it there and taking the points. I'll be honest. We ruined our chances of getting to go for it by not taking the timeout at midfield and having shots at the end zone. So we could have had the 4 points there.
Well, it's funny because I see this situation exactly the same as the Chicago Bears thing where, everybody's blaming the coach. And it's like, did you see the quarterback change the play with the clock running? That was the whole issue. We were fine on time. We had more than enough time. Save the timeout. Run your play, and then you can use your timeouts later. You don't have time to spend 15 extra seconds to scan the defense, change the play, do this. At that point, we're screwed. Now, same with Chicago. Maybe the coach should have come in and bailed him out and been like, okay, I guess we got to burn it because you're being an idiot. okay, timeout, I guess. We should not have burned that right there. But, we'll just rip 10 seconds off and then call a timeout because you're obviously not going to run this play fast enough. But no, the issue is you have to run a play. You get up and you run a play and you save the timeout. Jordan Love wasting 15 seconds to change the play was entirely the problem.
Or whatever. So I don't get it, dude. Now, granted, Jordan Love did a good job throwing it to Dobbs, and I feel like Jordan Love has learned a lot from Rodgers in terms of throwing to receivers when you see their back turn and you know you could get a penalty out of it, basically.
Yep.
I know the Dobbs one really kind of was it just happened to be that way, and the play was drawn up that way. But, I just didn't understand, though. I mean, not calling timeout before the half and then, saving time so that you could actually have shots at the end zone or just to, paper cut your way into the end zone. See, that was one thing that really bothered me, man. And then, of course, our O-line just decided, that they weren't going to block in the second half. Basically, that's what it came down to. And so, none of the running plays would work. And then, LaFleur, if you listen to his press conference, man, they just say that he just had a lot of bad play calling, and, that's on him. And I'm glad that he realizes it, but...
Well, first of all, he didn't say it was all on him. It was partially on him. And, of course, he's going to take some accountability because nobody is going to say it wasn't my fault, it was everybody else's fault. That's what he's done every single time there's ever been an issue, is take on some of the responsibility. But yes, when things aren't working, all the pieces involved need to be reassessed, including the play calling. But I mean, listen, on the 4th and 2, here's the other thing. We talk about being this tough, physical, imposing team. You need 2 yards, you run it, you don't get it, and Matt LaFleur's an idiot for running it. And again, I don't want to hear about shotgun because I've already established that running it out of shotgun is a higher success rate, okay? The idea that because the quarterback is standing a little bit further back that somehow puts you at a disadvantage is not correct. There are teams, including the Packers, that primarily run out of shotgun. If it was true that running out of shotgun was worse, then nobody would do it. But the Eagles primarily run out of shotgun and pistol. The Packers primarily run out of shotgun and pistol. So that's nonsense. But here's it, if you're saying that you don't believe that the Packers are a team that can get 2 yards when they need it, then obviously you don't believe that this is a physical football team. Where did the expectations go for this team? Oh, you can't expect them to get 2 yards on a run play? Bro, that's exactly the identity that we're supposedly trying to foster here. Of course we can get 2 yards here. Of course our offensive line and running backs can make that work. And then when they don't, we say, bad play call? Bro, if I tell you to take that ball and shove it up the middle of that defense, you do it. That's it. That's what you do while they're loading the box. I don't give a damn. Suddenly the fans become a fan of a finesse team. Oh, no, you got to finesse them. Oh, okay. So much for big, tough, physical, run the ball down your throat team, I guess. And again, the absolute hypocrisy. If we ran a screen and it got blown up, every single Packer fan on planet Earth would say, you've got Josh Jacobs. Why would you do that? If we ran an end around, God forbid, and it didn't work, you idiot, why do you do that? That never works, even though it worked in this game. It never works. And you got Josh Jacobs, and you could have just run it. Just run it up the middle, idiot. And then when he does it and it doesn't work, it's too hard. You can't expect him to get 2 yards on a run play. That was an opportunity to be the more physical team, and the players failed. That's it. Now, if he had passed it, would I have been critical? Sure. Because again, I have an expectation for this team to be able to run and pick up 2 yards. So yes, I do expect him to call a run, and I expect them to execute that. So whatever the faults may be, and obviously there were faults, I promise you Matt LaFleur did not call a perfect game. Neither did Hafley or the coaches on the other side or any coach in any week in all of human history. But some of the specific complaints are you've got to be kidding me. You're just trying to blame the coach for no reason whatsoever. Running the ball on 4th and 2 and expecting Josh Jacobs in this supposedly real tough run game to be able to convert that. That you think is a bad call. Okay. I don't believe you.
Yeah, I'll have to watch the all 22. I mean, I can't really watch it, but one of y'all gonna have to watch it. You or Ryan or somebody else. Maybe Andy Herman usually watches it. Because I'd like to see defensively what we did and offensively, like, what kind of went wrong.
I don't know, because I haven't focused on what went wrong in a very long time. I've very quickly moved on to the fact that that game was almost entirely right from start to finish. There was a very, very, very brief period of time where the offense struggled, and the defense took over, and then the offense picked back up, and we were fine. And we dominated the living crap out of the Seattle Seahawks. So that's primarily been my focus. All right.
Hey, Ryan, Beer Cheese Benny again. My mind is just, man, I didn't get a whole lot of sleep because of the game, being on the East Coast. Games are really late, dude. I didn't go to bed till like midnight, bro. So that sucks. So a lot of my thoughts are jumbled and like I forget to say things, and so I'm sorry if I call in so many times,
good,
but this is what I was thinking about is I'm glad that we won, and here's why. It's not because obviously I want them to win because of the Packers. It's because the Seahawks forced us to watch them in those hideous ass jerseys. I mean, they deserved to get blown out. And honestly, I wish we would have scored like 44 points or whatever, how we were supposed to. But I'm just glad we dominated them because...
Why are we supposed to score 44 points? Where did that come from?
They deserve to pay for making us watch in those, like, stupid... That's the ugliest jersey I've ever seen. How stupid. Like, and then we looked freaking awesome in our all whites, dude. I love that, man. I don't mind. Under the lights, if we have, like, night games, wearing those all whites is pretty sweet, man. Still mad about the helmet, though. They should have the gold stripe on the helmet. But anyways.
That is a weird debate that I have seen that I have had no interest in participating in. I like the traditional uniforms. If they want to do something weird once in a while, that's fine. They're all weird and take some time to get used to. I don't know that I could care less about a thing in my life than whether the all whites have a strip of gold on the helmet or not. I don't know. If that's what you're into, I don't know. I've looked at it and I've tried to think to myself, would it be better? And maybe, probably. I don't know. Boy, I do not care.
Yeah, dude. I think the Packers, they don't get enough credit, man, because people are telling us that we don't beat the good teams. It's like, okay, well, Seattle was like a pretty good team, honestly. Like, I don't really care what people say, man. I think their defense is actually pretty good, dude. Like, they freaking brought some pressure, man. In the second half, they really showed out. But for our offensive line, man, we've got to start picking up these blitzes, dude. And I remember the one, I think it was, I don't know if it was like it might have been like a 3rd and 2 or whatever. And I think Kraft, it was either Kraft or Ryan and, it was Ryan and Tom maybe, didn't pick up 99, Leonard Williams. But I think Kraft was supposed to pick up that guy in the gap, maybe. I could be wrong. I don't know the play design, so I mean. But, O-line's going to have to start being a little bit better on these situations, because it really handicapped us. But, anyways, I'll probably call in later as I'm working, as I think of stuff, as I listen to your podcast, as it trips my memory of things that I wanted to say. So, go Pack, go.
Yeah, well, again, I mean, it's a team thing. It's the running back, the offensive line, the head coach calling the right thing at the right time. It's all that stuff. But the other thing to be encouraged by is there's been a lot of issues, and a lot of them, like as soon as they're identified, they fix them. Look at where the receivers were, where Jordan was, even the run game, the defense was looking pretty bleak there for a little while. They've had issues, and then they resolved the issues. 2 weeks of, passing in the middle of the field, and then suddenly the middle of the field is not an issue. We've had 2 weeks now where the run game has died in the second half. Matt LaFleur has acknowledged the issue, and I have faith that they're going to end up figuring that out. I don't know when. Hopefully by this week. We got, again, a really bad run defense. So hopefully we could have a consistent run game through 4 quarters. That would be pretty ideal. All right, folks, we're cracking past an hour, so I'm going to get up out of here. You have a good rest of your day. I will talk to you later. Have a good one. Bye-bye.